of the room, I can offer you another chance to raise a child and be proud of someone well purchased. Well, oh, I'm just a fool. I'm just a death. I never flowered, I just turned to dust. Never fertile, never young, never took time for far too long.
I think I am only yours. You know I can't be sold. No, but you think I am. You didn't even notice. I kept trying just to talk to you, but when I did, I was choking. I walked every cliff and every park, hoping I would run into you. 내 머릿속이 어지러워질 때까지 달려보는 거야. 내 머릿속이 어지러워질 때까지 달려보는 거야. Asking for the pain, taking the road with nothing to gain. 나 어떻게 끝날지 않면서도 어려운 길을 택하는 건지. 난 널 어젯밤 꿈속에서 봤지. 용기가 많은 나의 모습, 너무나 어색한 나의 미소. 꿈을 깼더니 알아챈 고통과 나의 아픔. 내 자신을 속이고 있었다는 게 믿기지 않을 정도로.
Hello, what another great gig. I've been really enjoying going to all these gigs and seeing such amazing artists. And what's even better is I get to see people perform who I was meant to see way earlier this year, but because of COVID, obviously, and lockdown, so many gigs have been delayed to the end of the year. So finally, after a few postponements, I was able to see AnSo live doing the So Damn Loud single launch, and it was such a great night. We were at the Chippo Hotel in the city, and the support acts for the night were Zaza and Romeo Beats, everyone, and AnSo as the main act, and they were incredible. Definitely great support acts for the night. Again, when you can see that connection between all the artists that are performing that night, it just creates a stronger, more cohesive evening of performances because there is that connection. And when there's also that layer of friendship, you feel the camaraderie and everyone's kind of in it together. And I think that's just like a nice thing to have as an audience member, is knowing that each act is kind of there to elevate each other. It's not about outshining anyone, it's just all to support each other, a support act as it should be. And it really just, I think, again, what I like in a support act is it's a nice build up to like the main act, and you definitely got that. Like, for instance, Zaza performed first and they were incredible, and it was just like a really nice way to start the night because it was simple. They were just there on their bass with their pedals, and they just had this really good beat to their songs that they performed. And they did a lot of originals, and it was really interesting. They did some political stuff, and they had a song about consent, which was something that I haven't really heard before. And they did these great moments where they would increase the tempo in the song, and it just was really, with that bass, it just felt really, I don't know, you would like feel it in your soul kind of thing. At one point they broke the pick for the bass, and they apologized for missing a note, but like I did not hear them miss a single beat in the song, so they did fantastic. They also did a song about the submarine situation with ScoMo and the French government, and how that was a massive fuck up, and yeah, just like really original like ideas for their songs. Like I think that's a really like important thing to do as an artist, is like go outside of your own life. And you don't have to be political, I don't think that that's like necessary, but I think when you don't just write about your own life and you go outside your life, it's like, wow, that's pretty cool. And they said that this was their second solo gig, and they said that they were nervous, but like couldn't even tell, so they did a fantastic job. Then we had Romeo, who really changed it up a bit with their incredible dancing on stage, and just like, she has a really commanding voice, Romeo, and it's like this really deep chest voice that just, you kind of get forced to just like listen to her, and that I kind of like that. I like when the artist doesn't even have to like physically take control of the audience, but because their vocals are so commanding, you just kind of feel like as an audience member you have to like watch and enjoy the performance. And she had a lot of vibe changes, as she called it. She had some more sad moments, then more angry moments, or tender moments. And I liked, she did a lot of like screaming, kind of angry yelling moments that were really uninhibited. I feel like I could definitely see her doing like edgy screamo music. I don't know if she's ever tried it, but hey, maybe that's your next bit of genre to dabble in. And I should mention that she also had someone on keys and guitar. I didn't grab their names, I'm really sorry. I do try and grab everyone's names, but yes, they were fantastic as well. And yeah, a great performance, a great one to dance to, that is for sure. And then of course we had the main act, AnSo, and they were absolutely incredible. I mean, this was really crazy to watch live, because earlier this year I was lucky enough to get in touch with AnSo, and they did a bedroom gig for Sea Monster Productions, and I remember listening to their EP, Farrago of Emotions, which means basically like confused or mixed up emotions. And I remember listening to that EP from start to finish and just being like, wow, it was a sonic experience. If you have not listened to this EP, stop watching me, go listen to the EP and come back, because it is one of the best, like from start to finish, it is such a collection of art, and the whole thing is like one art piece in itself, but it's just like each song is so deliberate, it's so meaningful, and every layer of sound, because it's very like electronic based, every layer of sound is so deliberate and it's meant to be there and it has meaning. And I think sometimes when we listen to electronic music, we don't always recognize how many layers and what all those layers are doing. Like we kind of just hear it as a whole and just like one piece of music, and we don't focus on the individual layers. And I think when I listen to AnSo, it's like impossible not to hear those intricate sounds that they have just sprinkled throughout their music. And yeah, so obviously hearing them perform their EP live that I had listened to way earlier this year back in lockdown, I was just like, oh my god, like incredible. And what's even more incredible is I had the privilege of using that as inspiration for my final major work for university, and because the whole EP is about AnSo exploring their cultural identity and longing for a deeper connection to Korea. And yeah, for my final major work, I did a sound audio visual artwork that was exploring my French and Italian heritage, and I got to speak to AnSo about how their process was in collecting videos and sounds of their family and including that into the sound piece. And so having that kind of inspiration for my personal project was incredible, obviously, because I had an amazing EP in front of me that I got to listen to and hear all the technique, and yeah, so that was incredible. And so hearing these songs live, especially like Farrago and Diaspora and Pabo and Jung Hwa Soon, hearing all those songs was just incredible, especially live. I mean, it's just because you get such an intimate experience with it live. I mean, they're already intimate songs about cultural identity, but when you hear them live, it's a sonic experience you'll never forget. And AnSo was incredible on stage. I mean, they had these lights on their fingers and their feet, and so the whole visual aspect of the performance was incredible as well, because you just saw these lights just like flying around. And then AnSo also had a harp player and a violinist on stage with them as well, so that was also really incredible because I wasn't expecting that. And Caitlin was on violin, Bella was on harp, I should say that, and they were super talented musicians, and those instruments suit the electronic pieces so much, but I don't think I noticed that when I was listening to the songs not live. And so seeing it happen on stage live and like all the sounds coming together, it was just, again, incredible. And AnSo has these really delicate and kind of fragile, breathy vocals that just work so well with their sound. Like, they've just really nailed the kind of sound that they're trying to achieve, and it's completely elevated when they're singing it live. I mean, the amount of emotion and connection that AnSo brings to their music live is undeniable. And yeah, you can just feel the emotion that they have towards these songs and the music that they create, because it is so deep for them. And at one point AnSo was like, I feel a bit exposed, and they did a song, Perception, which is also off the EP, and that's when they were talking about how they were unhappy with their body. And I mean, it's kind of good sometimes when you're a musician and you kind of just say it out loud that you feel exposed or you feel vulnerable, because it kind of removes the nervous, or maybe it doesn't remove it completely, but it kind of just puts it out there that it's like, okay, I'm feeling a bit vulnerable right now, or I'm feeling a bit exposed, and to just keep going with the performance, and to not, because you don't want, as an artist, even when you're in your head a bit and you feel really exposed, it's so important to just keep going and not overthink it, because the more you will think about it, the more that you'll freak out, and the more that you'll be like, I can't do this. So sometimes it's good to just verbalize these things on stage. But yeah, I mean, what I love about this EP, and especially hearing it live, is like those sounds from AnSo's family, and hearing their voices and their laughter, their singing. I mean, especially her grandmother, and I think that's really, really special to them. And it's just, yeah, it's an incredible piece of artwork from start to finish, and hearing it live was the best experience ever. Everyone that night did an incredible job. It was a great gig. Go stream their music, go watch them live. You will not regret it.